that highlights activities from up Capitol Hill, making you Liberians to hear and know what your lawmakers are doing in the best interest of this country called Liberia. This program is on the ELBC 99.9, several other frequencies across the country. Every Thursday, 5 to 6 o'clock, is being relayed on Radio Farmington and the Voice of Hope in Plebo-Sodican District, Maryland County. It's being produced and presented by the House's Press and Public Affairs Bureau. This program features reports from the House's committee meetings with in-depth interviews and analysis about the country's legislative process. Today is Thursday. It's the 13th day of July, 2023. It is the 194th day of the year. We are left with 171 days to close up 2023 to enter 2024. Mind you, this year is Liberia presidential and legislative elections. According to the National Elections Commission, we're counting 89 days to the elections. Yeah, guys, welcome to the program. Let's take a few bows of our team. So my name is Robert Haynes, and we're back here shortly to run through the program. Invite someone to listen with you as we return to the program. Welcome back to the program, folks. Today in the House of Representatives is here. Yeah, we're back.
Yes, very well. We are back, and I'd like to say good evening to those of you who are following this program. Like Director Haynes said, it is time that you can invite a friend to listen to this program.
So very wonderful. And this is the program that inform you about all the working of our lawmakers. They up Capitol Hill, all their workings. We tell you how they're working, knocking their chests on our behalf, right?
Yes, certainly. The lawmakers are there to champion the cause of the people. And so every time they are working, we have to come to tell you how are they working, because you send them there. And the reason why you send them there, we got to come to explain it to you, to tell you, okay, the people you send on Capitol Hill to represent you, because everyone cannot go there. All of us who cannot go to sit in the chamber of the House of Representatives. So the people who are there on our behalf. And so what they are doing, this is why we are here to tell you. So please listen.
Right. That's wonderful. So we will tell you about some of the activities from the section, and then during the course of the week, those things that took place. House Speaker Dr. Buffer Chambers received as guests the former Nigerian president Goodluck Jonathan and a delegation visiting Liberia as part of his foundation initiatives for the promotion of democracy in Africa under the banner West Africa Elders Forum. And so we'll tell you about that meeting with the speaker along with the former Nigerian president. It's all geared towards the elections. So we'll tell you about that, keeping the peace, and also following an open apology to Liberia and Liberians by outgoing U.S. Ambassador Michael McCarthy as he leaves the country after his assignment. House Speaker Buffer Chambers has thanked him and said farewell to him and thanked him for his service here while he served as ambassador for the for the Federal Republic of America, right? And here to Liberia. And so we'll tell you about that also, and we'll run through to tell you good news for our people in Bombing County. Back in Bombing County gets a township status as the House concurred with the Liberian Senate. And so that's a good news for our people in Bombing County. Just on today, too, let's also inform you that 3 plantation companies, MOPP is Maryland Oil Palm Plantation, Golden Safeguard, Cavada Rubber Corporation, came under contempt. And so for what reason, we will tell you some of those things right here on the program. So yeah,
Yes, very well. And I think I'd like to start on with the visitation, like you said, of the former Nigerian president coming as a unit of Elders of Africa.
Right.
And of course, you know that the African continent isn't showing that they can maintain peace. And of course, it's the concern of all of us to maintain the peace in Africa. And so as and when Liberia is gearing up for the general and presidential, this as the general and legislative elections,
Mm.
it is the concern of the African region to ensure that there's some kind of stability in Liberia, to a certain extent that we have to maintain the peace because, this is a crucial election. The security of Liberia is rested on the shoulders of the security apparatus of this country. This is the time that you don't have the United Nations mission in this country.
Mm.
Unlike in the past elections, we had a drawdown plan by the UN, but this time we have a general operation of the Liberian security apparatus. And so the international community, Africans, and people within the region are all concerned. And so you know very well that there are three branches of government, and of course, the legislature is the body responsible for lawmaking. So every time you have a delegation come to this country, they will want to hear on the laws that are being crafted and passed by the legislature towards the maintenance of peace. And fair enough, there are good laws on the book towards the maintenance of peace. And so I think the visit of the former Nigerian President Goodluck Jonathan, meeting with the head of the legislature, specifically the Honorable House of Representatives, Dr. Buffer Chambers.
And
They
he came
held,
along with the former Prime Minister of
yes,
Burkina
Burkina
Faso.
Faso, yes.
Right.
So they held a very good conversation and
All gears towards the
yeah,
enhancement of peace
peace in this in this country.
during this 2023 presidential elections. And so the speaker was very much happy to have that kind of interaction. Of course, yes, looking at those kind of key legislations that have been passed in the House, in the legislature particularly. And so he was basically telling the delegation that, look, yes, uh, we have to be able to what we've done. We can do it again. Of course, yes, I can always say this that the 54th legislature will go down in history for the level of patriotism and the kind of job they've done and passing key legislations, especially the ones that gear towards peace. Mind you, this election that's coming up, we this is going to be our fourth post-war election and the first in the absence of the United Nations mission in Liberia. I mean presidential election now because in the absence of Ormil, we have had
Yes, the senator,
legislative
yeah,
other
legislative
legislative
elections.
other by elections and stuff like that. But this presidential election is going to be the first, and good kudos to our security apparatus now, to many our own borders. So our peace and security rests in our own hands, and that's why now you see these things happening. But the speaker was gracious enough to say, look, we should always think positive and know that we're not going to get this country to retrogress, but to rather make progress. So he has showed the delegation of the commitment of the legislature, always as they've done and will continue to do in making sure that the peace and security of our country. And I can say this that Liberians are not prepared to go to any to have any violence. So as we see it, we can be able to speak our differences on radio. We can speak our differences, difference of views, but it cannot lead us to violence.
Yes, in the midst of diversity, I think it's always good to unite, and the speaker being a man of peace, and I can fairly say that members of the Honorary House of Representatives are interested in the maintenance of peace. That's why they are seeking every avenue or effort to ensure that Liberia can remain stable. So, yes, the visitation was rewarding. And like you said, the Honorary Speaker thanked on behalf of the Honorary House of Representatives the former president of Nigeria, Goodluck Jonathan, and his entourage for coming to Liberia and having some concern as to the electoral process of the country. You know, the last time the speaker was in the Ivory Coast, it was similar conversation he held again
Right.
to talk about
Engaging with
yes, the
his
maintenance of peace.
counterparts.
And so he had some counterparts in the Ivory Coast to talk about the peace process in Liberia and what role has the legislature played. And I recalled when he visited the United States, he had similar conversation
Yeah,
to
because
talk
he
about
went with at the
yes,
Biden's
the Biden summit.
summit, right?
Yeah, so he had to talk about the peace process in Liberia relative to the role of the legislature in Liberia. So I think we're making significant progress thanks to the legislature for always thinking positive about the maintenance of peace of this country.
Right. And so just with that too, as we run to the next, the some time ago, you heard the U.S. ambassador spoke bluntly the other time, and but he was he just recently, as he about to depart the country after his assignment, he openly apologized to Liberia and Liberians for using some words like he said nonsense. I think the last time during his press conference, so he openly apologized, and this going time was this farewell program, and House Speaker Dr. Buffer Chambers has since thanked the ambassador, but the speaker always been very meticulous in looking at calling on people, especially for those people who are ambassadors, and say, look, we should be able to treat each other country with respect because there are diplomatic etiquettes, he said. And so he said those things, and while at the same time to uh, say farewell, and which the outgoing U.S. ambassador well in his sojourn.
Yes, there has been always this kind of mutual respect between Liberia and the United States, given the foundation of this country. And so the cordiality continued to exist between Liberia and the United States. And so the government, especially the legislature, was grateful that the outgoing U.S. ambassador had come to Liberia to serve his country in a very unique role, even though it wasn't rosy to a certain extent. But of course, be it as it may, the thing about international relations, were considered. And of course, the honorary speaker on behalf of the legislature has thanked the outgoing U.S. ambassador, Michael McCarthy, for his contribution to both Liberia and the United States, because it is through a couple of those workings here that the U.S. government will take some appropriate actions, either by aid or so, given the situation in Liberia. And he was able to tour Liberia, the 15 counties. He made some recommendations to what extent. I know he took back some of the words used in a couple of press conferences he had in Central Town, of course. But again, this is just the beauty of serving your country in another country. I think he has had sufficient of experience in Liberia, and maybe we'll look forward to a day that he will come back on a visit or so to visit this unique country. But I think Liberia is making significant progress because no matter the situation, whether this country has been criticized in the negative or a negative way or so, the leaders of this country remain steadfast and focused on the development drive of this country and improving the livelihood of their people, their citizens. And I think there where the legislature has always stood, and kudos to them.
Right. So with that, thanks again to the outgoing U.S. ambassador. Well, like you mentioned, it was not just all roses, but again, I remember some time ago in December of 2022, the Speaker of the House warned members of the diplomatic corps to be very careful of how they speak in Liberia, calling for adherence to strict diplomatic etiquette. And so he said that on the basis of how things were unfolding, but well, we wish you well as you leave our country. And Liberia and the United States share, they are allies. Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
they share a very good relationship. Now let's go to this news for our people in Bombing County. Bah. There's a place called it's a place in
Yes,
Bombing
Wild
called Bah.
Township in
Bah.
Bomi County.
Yeah, so it was probably maybe just a kind of community or a kind of clown, but now it has gotten a township status and there's a history behind this, and so we'll talk about it, and also have the direct representative of Bombing County Electoral District number one, Representative Fina
Lasana.
Wari Lasanan, and she will be able to talk about what excited her about this passage of this bill. Because she have a whole long history how it was being introduced earlier by her late husband, former pro tem Lahababa Lasanan, and after his demise, he was many years. She now in the legislature. It was then Representative Edna Snow to had to reintroduce it, but later it did not go through. When she came on, she saw it, asking her predecessor where so it turned over notes, and so he was able to talk about those things that were on the table, and then she wrote a discharge petition and was discharged from committee room. Gracefully now, it had now passed into law because the Senate passed it and sent it to the House, and the House concurred with the Senate, thus giving Ba a township status.
Yes, Wat Township, like you said, is in Bombay County, and of course, is situated in Zikbe Clan Sinje District,
In Western Liberia.
Western Liberia. Of course, like you correctly put it, the late Senator Lahala Sanan of Bombay County served the 52nd legislature, at which time this instrument was introduced. And of course, it went to committee room. It couldn't come out. Of course, Senator Snow, introduced this also, and then the coming of Representative Lasana now, she thought that it was important, given the concern and maybe the population size of Wild Township, the need to, gain some recognition legislatively, and so. She kind of follow up with the Honorary House of Representatives to a certain extent, or in totality, the legislature to have this bill reintroduced on the floors.
So let's get Representative Representative
Fenda Lasana.
Fina Lasana here to tell us what she thought, basically how she felt upon the passage of the bill.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy and glad enough to be here this afternoon, and it's a privilege to serve as a representative for the people of District of County.
What does this passage mean to you, particularly as the people's direct representative?
And I see it as an achievement on my side. I see it to be good, and it is in the interest of the people of District number 1 County. So I'm so happy and blessed, hearted by my colleagues that they are supposed to see how best that this bill can pass to the district.
So what role did you play?
This bill we are talking about, if my memory is helping right, it was introduced by my late husband. And I will have a Balasana, his peace, may his soul rest in peace. If I can recall, when we got together in 2012, and these are things that he first brought out that FEMA. This district is so big, I think it will be good enough that we have, but as a township, we so he introduced it to the Senate, and sent to the House, but I think back then it was when we sent it into the committee when nothing else was said about it. Later on, it was reintroduced by Honorable Edwin Neville Jr. It was also dragging. When I took over and I asked him for some of the job or things that he was doing in favor of our district senior, and these are things that he brought forth to me that we have a bill in the House that is needed to be passed. So when I saw it and I asked him that, he said anything that we can work together to see how best that this bill can be passed in the interest of our people. And he said yes, but the only thing as a lawmaker, you have to go for it and see how best it can be passed. And since I got here, I tried to talk to my colleagues, God will have it today that this bill was passed in the interest of the people. I just consider it to be my happiest day ever since I came into the House of Representatives.
You kept emphasizing on the interests of the people and concerned about what does this bill accrue for the people of Bar Township in particular.
I just pray that one day you will have a chance to go to Bar and see how populated that district is, to see how carry up and everything that you think will make them to be to give them that privilege to have a township over, and you will go and see for yourself that they deserve it, and that by law is their right to have a township, and of course everything that the law provide or the law have given that there should be a township, everything fall within the range of Bajake. So looking at it, it will be so good for our people to have that as a township, because if we look at Senior District, Senior is the biggest district in Boni. And Ba is a more populated area in Senior District. So looking at it, and they have like reached every other things that have given them the right to be a township. I think based on that, they are so happy enough.
With the
What
passing
sort of-
of this bill, it will seek your re-election to be very smooth because I have visited that to be precise. And most of the people have been talking about the lack of local government structure, and it will also seek for the establishment of local government arrangement.
I think previously I said that when I got here, these are things that I first asked Honorable Snow, because he was the representative back then. What are things that you people have been pushing in the interest of Senior? And in this ethnical bill business came out. So it's not because of my re-election, but I think that is my responsibility to see that thing work in the interest of the people. That's all.
Well, thank you so much. So as we close up, I show your late husband might be smiling.
Oh yes, of course,
We're
of course,
introducing, and then you come in to just close
Yeah.
up, and it's a law now.
of course.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, she's the direct representative of Bumi County Electoral District number 1, Sinjar District, and she, like you hear her say, she was excited to see this coming to fruition, and I just want to close up to answer that her late husband could just be smiling in the grave.
I think that was a wonderful question on your part because, every lawmaker of that kind will feel very happy, more excited, of course, especially when the members of the August body unanimously endorsed whatever is a bill or a communication coming forth from your end. And I think they were very much excited to have the bill passed on yesterday. And we
So
can
that's a good news for our
yes,
people.
Very good news
It's
for
now-
Bowman County.
It's now been sent over to the offices of the chief executive, the president, for his signature. So because he have gotten legislative treatment, it's fair enough that the president would now sign that into law, so that Ba can be a township, and they will have local government there in place.
Yeah, so like you rightly said, and I think we just need to emphasize that when you talk about build, according to the rules of the Honorable House of Representatives, I like to go to Rule 30 that talks about the definition of what is a build, like what was passed by the Honorable House of Representatives. It says, whenever the word bill is used in these rules, it shall include but not be limited to constitutional amendments and resolutions. And so, the legislature, specifically the Honorable House of Representatives, has the power, in line with Article 34(8) of the Liberian Constitution, to create new counties and other political subdivision and readjust existing county boundaries. And so, in line with that, they've acted in the interest of the people because, it's going to be a whole local government structure established. And so that's why the legislature has the power to ensure that they can move forward and review whatever is the instrument before them before actions are taken. And they considered adequately before the action was taken and the bill was passed by the legislature and forwarded to the executive for the constitutional formalities.
Right. So kudos to the people of Bowman County. Your representative have acted very well. Yes, that's why we said to you that we're here to always inform you of the workings of the lawmakers up Capitol Hill, and she's done very well to make sure that our people now in Bowman County will now have a township owing to the signature of the president. Then, of course, it is a law. Now, quickly before we open lines to interact with the public, for disrespecting that August body. The Maryland Oil Palm Plantation, Golden Safeguard, the Cavala Rubber Corporation have come under contempt. So Plenary, being the highest decision-making body, today took a decision to have the management of Golden Safeguard, Cavala Rubber Corporation (CRC), and the Maryland Oil Palm Plantation (MOPP) uh, to appear, but this time under contempt for their conspicuous failure to appear before that August body.
And I'd like to begin with Article 44 of the Constitution. Then I will reference you to the root of the Honorary House of Representatives. But let's begin with Article 44 of the Liberian Constitution. It says, contempt of the legislature shall consist of actions which obstruct the legislative functions or which obstruct or impede members or officers of the legislature in the discharge of their legislative duties, and may be punished by the House concerned by reasonable sanctions after a hearing consistent
With due
with due process of law.
Right.
No sanctions shall extend beyond the session of the legislature within its imposed, and any sanction imposed shall confront to the provisions of fundamental rights laid down in the Constitution. Disputes between legislators and non-members which are reportedly cognizable in the courts shall not be entertained or heard in the legislature. So
Right.
that is contempt
Right. So
relative to the Constitution.
now, so because these people have oversight, they use that oversight to be able to look at issues. They have that right. And when you invite you, it's only fair enough to come and explain what you've been invited for. An attempt to refuse to come without sending, maybe you're doing flimsy excuses, or without even sending an excuse, it's been disrespectful. And according to the Maryland County Legislative Caucus, on number of occasions, as they were indicated, because it was the caucus that wrote plenary to have these company appear, because they have earlier written them to appear in a meeting with the caucus. On two separate occasions, they refused. So plenary, being the highest decision-making body, the caucus wrote that these people should be able to appear in plenary, and plenary endorsed that. Then they refused again. So this time now, consistent with due process, the legislature, particularly the House of Representatives, now has said, look, they should now come under contempt to show cost why they should not be held in contempt for their conspicuous absence.
Yes, and I think I read the constitutional provision, but for the sake of the public, I think it's also important that we can read what the law says, especially within the rules of the Honorary House of Representatives. And I'm specifically looking at Rule 2, that's Rule 4, in fact, of the Chapter 2, Powers and Duties of the House, and it falls under Rule 4. It says, contempt power.
Right.
Contempt of the legislature shall consist of actions which obstruct or impede members or officers of the legislature in the discharge of their legislative duties, and is punishable by a fine of not more than 5,000 Liberian dollars and or imprisonment in a common jail. I could continue, but again, let's say this. The members of the government of this republic, three separate branches of government, are interested in partnershiping with companies, the international community, to what extent that they are coming here. But it's also important to state that this country is a country of law, and it's not a country of men. Now, you have to believe that members of the legislature represent the common interest of their people. Now, the MOPP, the CRC, and Golden Safeguard, they are operating within a community, and that community, specifically in Maryland County, the lawmakers are concerned about some unethical issues. And so they've taken the bull by the horn to
They've called you,
invite
right?
members of the companies to have a roundtable discussion. Come to believe, those of you who are listening to this platform, the members of the companies have said that they will not honor the invitation of the Legislative Caucus of Maryland County.
That's been
And
disrespectful.
so it's very disrespectful on the part of the companies. Now the Legislative Caucus of Maryland County have decided, like any other lawmaker, will seek redress by writing the full plenary of the House of Representatives,
Which is the highest decision-making
because,
body.
like you said, it is the highest decision-making body of the AUKUS body. And so the plenary of the Honorary House of Representatives have cited members of the companies or authorities of the companies to report so that they will hear from them to give their side of the story. Because I know for sure the reason why the Legislative Caucus have communicated with the company to have such discussion is based on some of those issues that those who elected the lawmakers to come on to Capitol Hill are faced with. And so they've channeled this to the plenary of the House of Representatives. And on a side note, the members or authorities of those companies have reneged. Now, it brings us to the point that they're using their rules now. Chapter 2 of their rule says power and duties of the House, and it's rule 4. So they have invited the authorities of Golden
Now,
Safeguard.
this time, they invited you. You
Golden
refused to come. But
Safeguard.
this time,
Yes.
you're coming out on a
So
contempt.
you're coming on a
And
contempt.
they
And
also
when
asked you to bring your
your
counsel.
lawyer. So
Right.
the Golden Safeguard, MOPP, CRC will now come with their lawyers to interpret why have they refused to honor the citation of the Honorary House of
The
Representatives
people's deputies.
on 3 separate occasions. Can you imagine?
Right.
Look, this country is interested, and the lawmakers are there. When the executives have made some instruments, especially to give right to some companies or to give right to concessionaires to operate within the borders of this country, the lawmakers are interested in ratifying some of those documents. But on the contrary, you cannot be disrespecting this AUKUS body that is giving you the right to function within the land space of Liberia,
Right.
because
Especially so when
yes,
you are there operating and the people work with you,
with you,
and the way they're being treated, and the people on a daily basis complain to their leaders, and the leaders call you to know what is obtaining, and you refuse to come. That's been disrespectful to the highest point, because it is the first branch of the government of Liberia. All right, it is the very branch of government that gave you that right to operate as a concession company or whatever company that come to the country. Why would you be disrespectful? Now you're coming on a contempt. You're breaking your counsel, your legal counsel. Mind you, in the legislature, it is not in the court. In the legislature, when you come with your counsel don't take the stand. You take the stand, and you will speak. Your counsel will speak through you.
obviously.
Right? Your counsel will speak through you. So your counsel will just advise in your ear, and you can talk. At the court, you will speak through your counsel.
Your counsel, yeah.
Right. So let's open the line, interact with the
But
public.
I don't know why the companies there will disrespect the AUKUS body to that extent, because mind you, there are other concessionaires in Liberia, in fact, that the lawmakers have been working with. They've
Very
been
well.
very cooperative.
Very well.
B Mountain is one of such. ArcelorMittal is one of such. The company there in Bond County, CRC, was it SRC? Salada Rubber
yes,
Corporation.
right.
So they've been very cooperative. Like, I remember some times ago when Representative Vincent Willer wrote a communication to the Honorary House of Representatives for some kind of intervention there for his people in District 4, Grand Bassa County. The LAC company was very cooperative in the process. And so you ought to be cooperative, because they represent the interest of the people, and to no extent that members of you will disrespect this AUKUS body.
Let's go to the line, interact with the public. 0880-514-096, 08805140960 0770-259660. You're listening to the program today in the House of Representatives. This is your program that will come here to talk about activities from up Capitol Hill, highlighting those things that our leaders, the lawmakers, are doing, affecting the growth and development of our country positively. 08805140960 0770-259660 are the numbers to join us right here on the program. Let's go to the line, take on this person joining us. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Welcome. Let's hear you. Your name, where you join us from.
I'm Moses B. Gaga. I join you guys from Tinker Village.
You joining us from where?
Tinker Village.
Tinkers Village. That's district number 6, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, our lawmaker, they are people out there in opposition. Even those that stand in contract with them can't even respect them because they accept something contrary to the contract that they stand. How will you stand or contract then the issue of the contract?
Did you follow the show from the onset, or you just making your point?
I've been following the story from Maryland. I've been following the story from Maryland. People in Maryland get problems.
So then when the leaders want to act to make sure that the people come to book, what's wrong with that?
But yeah, because the people can't come to book because there was something went wrong. The people just come to book. Something went wrong.
Brother, we'll not continue with you on this line, yeah? 08805140960. It seems that you don't understanding this conversation. Hello?
Okay.
I'm okay. Tell us the name, where you call from.
Well, this is Milton Dismo from Electoral District where Wode is serving as representative, Grand Bassa County.
Go ahead, sir.
Well, thank you for the discussion. But those companies that refuse to come to the call of our lawmakers, one way or the other, sometimes when they having to do such things, they have to be penalized. They are the controller of this country.
That's why they're coming under contempt.
Yeah. But if they charge them because of contempt, charge go against them, then of course the law must take it goes. They will not go free.
Right.
They should not go free. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, my dear brother. More of the calls can come right here. 08805140960. Hello? Hello?
Welcome to the program. What is your name and where you are calling us from?
Oh, it seems that person just not there. Let's take on this one. Hello?
Hello?
Let's hear you.
Yeah, my name is Tony Brooks, calling from the township of Johnsonville.
Okay, from Johnsonville. That's district number 2, the Maserati, right?
District 2, yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
Thank you for the conversation. Also, thank you for the information. I just want to know, since the company is refusing, I don't want to be the penalty. What would really be the penalty? Because
right. So this time now, first,
I'm sensing they have already refused.
Right. So what happened first? They were invited. All right. Yeah. First they were invited, but this time now, because of the failure to come, that contempt, they can send the sergeant and arm them for you now. How they can do it now? When they respect you for, they tell you they can't, and you can't. Then they can send the other opponent for you now. And you know the other one?
Yeah, but I don't know what would be the penalty if they deliberately refuse.
Yeah, you will see him will come on the show again, we'll explain it again.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the information, sir.
Thanks a lot, my dear brother. More of the calls can come. Let's take on this person here, guy.
Hello, welcome to the program.
Yes, good afternoon. This is Joseph, and I join you from my Banda residence.
Joseph, what is your last name?
I'm Joseph Y. Colley.
Okay, Joseph Y. Colley. Let's hear you.
Yes, it is important to note that the Honorable House of Representatives will invite concessionaires in this country, and they be defied. I think this is about time that the legislature got to be very strong on this issue, because those French people, I'm told they don't take anybody serious. So they have to be called and let not the plenary take any joke with them. Whatever they are responsible for, they have to be executed for the well-being of the people of Liberia. So thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, my dear brother.
Welcome to the program. Hello, let's hear you.
Yes, Cyrus, go ahead.
I can't tell you some of the discussion. I would love to do it, letting our interest. In my
Okay, my man, you get a 26.
Okay,
Thanks a
Cyrus.
lot, okay? Keep listening to the show. More of the calls can come. Let's go
Let's
on.
talk to another caller. Welcome to the program. Let's hear you, please.
Oh, please listen
Please
to the radio
lower the
instead.
volume of your receiver. Please lower the volume of your receiver. Let's hear you.
Good evening, Mr. Robert Henson. Good evening to Wilbur Yeager.
Good evening. How are you? What is your name?
Well, my name is Christopher Kanakai Oppiton.
Okay, Christopher Kandaka. You're calling from Maryland.
Yes, I join you from the People Solican District, Maryland. You know, it's quite unfortunate for the construction company here in People Northern County to behave the kind of way they're behaving. It's quite unfortunate. You know, a high body that to invite you so as to come and provide reasons, but up to now they are not showing any sign of finger. It's quite unfortunate. To be very realistic, it's quite unfortunate. So I think those managers or the management need to do it necessary to adhere to the House of Representatives call. Yes, but they don't need to stay out of the discussion. They don't need to stay out and be hesitant to send out to the House of Representatives call. Yes, it's quite unfortunate, to be very frank, Mr. Haynes.
Okay, thank you. That was so much, Kanaka. More of your calls
it's
right here.
quite unfortunate, and this is why we need not to tolerate in our country.
Okay, we're not going to tolerate that. This person in the line. Hello? Let's hear you. Hello, welcome to the program.
Can you kind of lower the receiver, the volume of your receiver, please?
Oh, sorry.
Not good for us.
0880514096070259660 are the numbers to call us right here on the program. This is the program today in the House of Representatives. Of course, yes, plenary is not going to take this lightly, and it goes out to all other concession companies or people from the executive.
Hello, let's talk to this caller. Hello, welcome to the program. What is your name?
Yeah, this is Mr. Songali. I call from District number 6.
I didn't get the first name.
I said, this is Rosetta Songali, and I call from District number 6.
Okay, please
District
go ahead.
number 6, what county?
Yeah. And?
What county? District number 6, what county?
District number 6, here, here.
Okay, let's hear you.
I think the lawmakers, the company trying to start our lawmakers, and like for your first caller, you know, because they topic well, and like the other fellow said, I think they used to come down and all show on the company and trying to show some they research, because that's why we go to the parliament to elect a commercial leader to represent us at the House of Representatives. So thank you for the show. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you very much.
She's our first female caller.
This person in the line. Hello?
Let's hear you, please.
Yeah, good evening. My name's Samko, and I call from the Port City of Piano.
Your name is who?
Samko.
Yeah, okay, Samko. Go ahead from Piano.
Yeah, I want to say thank you for the show, and also I'm listening to the show through the newly constructed radio station, Basso FM. I'm so happy for the information that you gave us. The representative of District number 1, Bomi County, you know, there's a saying that say, your delay is not your denial. Her husband put on the floor, she fought. Her husband, unfortunately, her husband died. Senator Snowking he also mentioned it, and then it was delayed, but now I monitor her speech. She's happy to the extent, so I know the people of Bomi County, they are also happy for that bill to be passed. So I just want to say thank you to you guys in studio there. Thank you.
Well, thanks a lot, Sam. Let's get more of the calls. Hello? Hello, welcome. Let's hear you. Well, sorry. Let's take on this person from this end. Hello?
Hello?
Let's hear you. Your name, where you call from?
This is Apostle T. Garrison City from Upper Kawa, District 11.
Apostle, go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah, thank you for the topic on the discussion. And I really like the way you guys are discussing it. You know, concession companies in Liberia, they feel that there's a high level of unemployment. So, since they are providing employment, they feel that they can do anything, but it shouldn't be so. The lawmakers are our direct representatives. If they respect our lawmakers, that means they respect the whole nation and the citizenry.
Right.
So our lawmakers should take a strong stand, not just to ask them to explain why they couldn't appear, because their failure to appear means that whatever they did for which they are inviting them is deliberate.
Okay.
So they should take a strong stand against them. Actually, I'll be following the story here. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Apostle. Let's take more of the calls right here. This person. Hello.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. Your name, where you call from?
This is the voice of Prince Kolaket. I phone from District 5 along the Integrity Avenue. For me, I don't think it is necessary this time.
Prince.
Yeah.
All the counties we get in the country are 15 counties. Other than get different districts. When you call, you say when you call the district, then you call the county.
I phone you from District 5, Mozzarella, respectively, along the Integrity Avenue. Am I clear?
Oh, heck, please.
Let's hear you.
Thank you. Like I was saying, for me, I don't see it necessary at this time for those concession companies who are very hesitant and not in the interest of the people to be charged with a content charge. Because the issue of a content charge, if you look at the Constitution, Article 44, it only talk about either going to jail for 2 or 3 days, the minimum, and then paying like $5,000. How much is it? And more besides, we Liberians, we should be very cognizant of the fact that our lawmakers have been dormant for 5 years plus, only because all representatives are going to the pool.
No. I will not accept it. I will not take that here. You know I will not take that. I will not take that here. Why would you say the lawmakers have been dormant? So the key legislation have been. Wait. Let me hold the call a little bit. Look, what about the key legislations that have passed in this country? And you say lawmakers have been dormant, and because they're going to election, why would you say that? You were not in this country when the dual citizenship bill got passed. You were not here when the LSC got prosecutorial power. I mean, gentlemen, if you got no business calling on this show, don't waste our time here. All right? If you can contribute to the conversation, fair enough to just play your listening role and say because they're going to the election and they've been dormant. You can't say that here. This is not no regular talk shows. It's not the regular talk shows. You can call on the other show now. Every day you're disappointed. Nobody appointed you. This show is a public relations radio show for the House of Representatives. All right? You can give your recommendations. The lawmakers are going to listen to what you say. They're going to act on behalf of what article. So you sit right there and you want the lawmakers now because they're acting, because their people have complained to them and they're inviting these very companies. And you say that they've been dormant. How would you say that, brother? They won't give you the briefing space here. We can't do the kind of thing. Let's take more of the calls here. 08805140996. We can take 2 or 3 more and respond to a couple of the other concerns and close up the program.
I think so. Let's talk to this caller. Welcome to the program. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, what is your name?
My name is Matthew Wilson. I call from District 6.
Okay, Matthew Wilson from District 6, Mozzarella?
Yeah, Mozzarella.
Okay, let's hear you, please.
Well, I'm very much surprised at all those companies failing to come to the call of the Maryland Legislative Caucus and then also the plenary. I think they have problem with the Maryland Legislative Caucus. When the plenary invited them, they should have come. And to tell the plenary why they couldn't go to the Maryland Legislative Caucus or staying away is completely unacceptable. So I pray that the Honorable House, because why it is true that legislative caucus also divided, they got some people to the other side. They should have come to the plenary and give information why they didn't interact rightfully with the legislative caucus. So let the law take its course.
Right. Well, let's take more of the course. Let me take a legislative reporter calling me here. One time, legislative award-winning journalist joining us. Hello. Hello, Mr. Winston calling us. Hello.
Good evening. How are you?
Good evening. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Thank you so kindly, Rebels and Jaeger, for the work you people continue to do. You getting me now?
Go ahead. You're live on the radio.
Are you getting me, sir?
You are live on the radio. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much for the work you guys continue to do. I've been following the show. I'm not a spokesperson of the legislature, but some of the callers who are saying that this legislature is not in the interest of the people,
You cannot bring the entire legislature not being in the interest of the people because you got a problem with one or two individuals. This legislature, under the watchful eyes of House Speaker Dr. Buffer Chambers, have been able to seek the interest of the ordinary people, as a matter of fact, the masses. No matter which political party you find yourself, this legislature have been able to cut across all political subdivision of our country, seeking the welfare of the ordinary people. On the other hand, the one I have to do with refusing to honor the invitation of the Honorable House of Representatives, have been very disrespectful to that honorable body. Thanks to the Almighty God for the kind of speaker and the legislature currently possesses, the leadership side of the speaker, who has been very tolerant in handling issues. So I think the honorable thing they can do, since they have been asked to show reason why they should not be held in contempt for disrespecting that honorable body, they can do everything possible to see how best they can appear along with the lawyers next week. Perhaps they could be pardoned. The legislature is for everybody. So I just want to commend you guys, most especially I am a legislative reporter, the kind of leadership that both of you have brought to this 54 legislature. I have spent close to 12, 13 years covering the legislature in terms of getting communication on time. Can you imagine? Within a blink of an eye, the moment the communication is then read and decisions being made, the next thing we see in our chat room, and most of the time, you even go to the extent of helping, to publish. This legislature has been very active on both of you watch. And I just want to use the medium, and like you said, award-winning, legislative reporter 2 times. I have never seen the kind of leadership style, the publicity, even this program that you have brought. By the time session, then adjourned within less than an hour, you see the story, it just made our work easy. So I want to say congratulations to you guys, and I hope and pray that the leadership of the 54 legislature will give the horses press and public affairs department the support that you guys need. I see when I read or shine, you guys always there doing your job. You know, right. Is reading, I'm not there. Director Jens and Deputy Director Yeager always on time. So if the leadership of the horse is listening to me, we hope and pray that the support that you guys need, they will give it to you guys. Thank you so much for the marvelous work.
Well, thanks a lot. I think we'll close up with the course now, Yeager, and come to some of the concerns raised by some of the callers.
Yes, I think I'll start with Winston Bladin, a legislative reporter. Thanks for the commendations. We highly appreciate such, and we'll continue to do our best to keep informing the public and bringing forth the workings of the legislature, specifically the Honorable House of Representatives, just on this platform and other platforms that we run. Now, I think he talked about the tolerance of the Honorable Speaker and members of the House of Representatives is one thing to underscore here, because I think that is a very good leadership style. In keeping with the laws of this country, you ought to have due process. For some of you, especially for our brother Prince Kolake, sometimes when you call to the platform, it's not just about the emotional aspect of what you want to talk about, or maybe you'll come with sentiments in the process. Now, you must be very realistic. If there are issues that you want to criticize this legislature for, then you must provide those reasons. But if there are no reasons, a reason, of course, then, of course, you don't need to come with distraction, because I think we've underscored and we have highlighted the significant progress of this Honorable House of Representatives. What they are doing in terms of maintaining the peace, the stability, education, health, agriculture,
national security come about.
Yes,
look the other day when we had the reporter shortage of rice.
Rice,
the Speaker of the House of Representatives had to leave his office to go in the field. I remember that time we went in the field, we went to warehouses to ascertain, because we saw Liberians in line, they were all in queue. So you think that these leaders, we have our representative, you think they're not there knocking their chest on our behalf? I mean, sometimes you can have your own problem, but let's look at it on a holistic standpoint and see what we do the best with that possible, okay?
And so generally, they are coming now to state why they should not be held under contempt. That is part of the legislative proceeding until the state reasons for this disrespecting the Honorable House of Representatives, then there will be a further action by the leadership of the House of Representatives. So we can squarely say to you, now that we've understood that the body or the companies have disrespected the House of Representatives, when they appear, whatever they say there,
we'll be back
come
here
right
to
here to
inform
tell
you.
you, please.
Right. So it's been a wonderful conversation here on today. Well, we still have a couple. We just have 2 more minutes to close up, and so we also want to inform you, Liberians that do justice always, to tune in to this program, because we at times bring the lawmakers themselves here so that they speak to you and tell you some of the things that they're doing up Capitol Hill and in their respective districts. All right. And so
Yes.
as we go towards these crucial times, it's important enough you know what have been obtaining up Capitol Hill. Issues have been stable. The other day I heard somebody calling the Speaker of the House of Representatives the stabilizer, legislative stabilizer.
Yes,
And
he
I
has
would say,
done extremely well, maintaining the leadership of the legislature, specifically the Honorable House of Representatives. Very tolerant leader.
right. Well, look close up. We're back here on next Thursday, God's willing, to inform you of all the activities from our Capitol Hill. Mind you, we are shortly to close for the second quarter. When we close for the second quarter, we'll return up Capitol Hill on the 13th of October. Then elections over. Well, yeah. So because when we take our second quarter break, then we will return. Then elections are over. It will be on the 13th of October. I know the election is the 10th, right? So for now, according to the National Elections Commission, we are counting 89 days to elections. Have yourself a wonderful day. The next time we're here will be on Thursday. My name is Robert Haynes. God bless you.
And I think you can keep following us on our social media.